buddy. Come on. Come on, Monkaroo. Come on, Monkey Bunky. You've been a floor dog for so long. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on, you buddy. Oh, he just wanted you over. You're such little sweetums. Yes, you were. You're a tired old dog. Want to put you up here? Yeah? There we go. Right? Oh, you got it yourself. I didn't need help. You didn't need help at all. Okay. All right. Look at you, little sweetums. Okay, hi everybody. Welcome. It's Thursday. Didn't do a show yesterday. Big news that happened yesterday was yet another school shooting. This time Minneapolis at a Catholic school during their morning mass. 20 people shot, 2 kids killed by yet another Nazi who put Nazi shit in their gun. Some of you may not know, but my little sister's best friend was killed at Parkland. He was a geography teacher there and died shielding his kids in the doorway from the gunman who had a swastika carved into his AR-15. I personally think that when these far-right Nazi fucks shoot people, the media needs to refer to them as Nazis. Not be like, the suspected gunman. Just be like, the Nazis shot up a bunch of kids. It's stupid. It's stupid that they never, ever acknowledge the white supremacists behind fucking 90% of these killings. It's awful. And Nazism is terrorism. It's terrorism. I know that Nazism aligns with the current regime. Stephen Miller is a big old proponent of the whole thing. You know, Elon Musk doing a Sigh. Everyone tried to sweep under the rug, but he did it twice. This Nazi bullshit's got to end. It's stupid. It's killing our kids. Just absolute garbage. And it turns out this kid was online talking about how he's going to shoot up a church. I'm going to shoot up a church. I'm going to shoot up a church. Hey, what kind of like Nazi paraphernalia should I bring? How do I make it? I'm going to shoot up a church for months. And you know the folks at the FBI and the NSA and the DIA and ATF and all those crew who were supposed to monitor these things? Guess where those guys went? They got pulled off of their task forces and their assignments, and 1,000 of them were put on the Epstein files to redact Donald Trump's name from them. There's ample warning that this kid was going to shoot up a church and his little Nazi bullshit. So, just, wow, fucking Nazis, dude. They're the worst. There's no reason for them to exist. Just carpet bomb them out of existence. That's the only thing they'll listen to. Just gone. Poof. And we're just gonna slip further and further into this crap. So here we are. Another school year just started, and we're just blowing away kids some more. And yeah. In other news, most of the world has stopped sending packages worth $100 or more to the United States because of the elimination of the de minimis exemption. So this means that if you order stuff from overseas, unless it's in like giant bulk, where you're going to be paying huge tariffs on it anyway, you're not going to be able to get those smaller items. This is really going to hurt restaurants, especially restaurants that have good food. I'm not talking like your local shitty diner that gets an FSA truck delivery or Cisco delivery. I'm talking the folks that get French bread airmailed every day, fresh cheeses from Italy or France or Ireland, high-end spices in small batches, truffles, whatever. Like they're wines. They're not going to be able to get this stuff anymore sent to them at all, really. It is going to doom fine dining across the United States because, well, we have a lot of good ingredients. Like I fully support buying local for a lot of produce and things like that. But there's certain specialty items you just cannot get in the United States that come from overseas because they're only grown overseas because of the certain climate, the heirloom varieties, etc. So you're going to start to see huge price increases at mid to upper level dining, mid to fine dining across the country. On top of the fact that coffee's doubled in price since October of last year, and egg prices are up, and milk prices are up, and meat prices are up, and everything else. So yeah, we're being ostracized. We're being cut off by the world, basically. Manufacturers leaving at a record pace right now, and aluminum costs twice as much in the United States as it does anywhere else in the world. So there goes the Ford F-150, which is made of aluminum. There goes aluminum block engines. There goes soda cans, right? I mean, I think Coca-Cola, I can't remember what the number was. I saw it recently. It was something ridiculous. Like Coca-Cola spends like $30 billion a year on soda cans, on aluminum for soda cans. And now they're paying $60 billion. Like, we're absolutely destroying U.S. businesses with all this. And people are like, tariffs raised $500 billion. Dude, that was a tax on you, you moron. Like, you're not getting that money. That's not going to you, man. It's just pulling out of your pocket. It's not going to services, not going to anything. You suck. That's what's happening. Tomorrow is the next hype date that will blow past, and we'll go, but keep your eye on it. I don't know if it's before market open or after market close is when Beyond becomes BBBY. I know it's tomorrow, but I don't know if it's. I think it's probably after market close, because Marcus Lemonis, the CEO, is going to be ringing the opening bell on Tuesday, and methinks that's when it'll be BBBY and banners and whatnot as he ringy ding dings the bell. Do you have anything else, Monkey? Just to pet your sweet little dog face. Yeah. Oh, little buddy. Okay. Let's do the do. Bing. Oops, that didn't happen. How about now? Boink. There we go. Okay. Beep. All right. Super chats. I got SS Leia. Hi, did you hear them discuss Pulte on the Daily yesterday? Looks like he can lawfully look at mortgage records. He is such a racist turd. Lawfully looking at mortgage records and revealing what's in those mortgage records are two entirely different things. Like if you're an employee at a hospital, you're allowed to look at someone's chart, right? But you're not allowed to go on the internet and show that chart to everybody. That's where the privacy violation comes in. So yes, he can possibly look at mortgage records. He cannot reveal those records to the public without, I don't know, court order, warrant, things like that. Just that's the whole point of privacy laws. Like your Social Security information is supposed to be kept private. Some of Social Security Administration can look at your Social Security records. They cannot show your Social Security records to everybody, right? So, Big Balls kind of did that. I don't know if you saw that over 300 million Social Security numbers were probably accessed by Russian hackers because Big Balls uploaded it to a non-secure server. Cool. And Big Balls is a child of a KGB, or grandchild of a KGB agent too, so there's that to look at as well. Bill Coyne Super Chats. Tell us something I'm good about GME. We need a ticket out of this madhouse. Well, next week, is it next week that their earnings? GME earnings date. On the 9th. Okay. Someone's coming? Confirmed Tuesday the 9th. Okay. So we got a week and a half. And I think they're probably going to blow earnings out of the water. They're pretty much through the culling process of, trimming down their stores. They have $9 billion earning interest right now. So if we are to, do one of them calculator things. Boop. Oh, great. Fart, the calculator thing isn't. Oh, stop. Okay. You delete. Yes, I'm deleting your calculator intro. And we're going to add the calculator intro back. video capture media file, add source, new source, add source. Oops. Browse, look for file. Use no problem videos. There's calculator. Use no calculator intro. Open that. Oh, there it goes. Okay. Close that. Oh shoot, I should add properties. I didn't name you properly. Crap, how do I name you? Oh, I know how to name you. Rename? Rename. There we go. Calculator intro. Okay. Done. I misspelled calculator. Calc. Gosh dang it. Calculator intro. There we go. All right. Okay. Turn off the calculator intro, ding dong. And bring up the calculator. Scene. Calculator. Okay. So they have 9-point-something billion dollars. We'll call it, I don't know, 9.3 billion. 93123 There we go. $9.3 billion cash, or probably like in bonds, earning around 5% interest, 4 to 5% interest. Let's call it 5% interest because that makes the math easier. And in a year, this amount of money right here, times 0.05, we're bringing $465 million. Just in those bonds, right? And per quarter, it'll bring in $116,250,000. So look for basically $116 million or more in earnings for quarter two, regardless of whatever sales they have at their video game store. Remember, this is quarter two, so this is before they had that whole baseball card one-armed bandit that they're doing, slot machine they're doing. So look for a minimum of $116 million or thereabouts for their earnings. Maybe a little less because I guess quarter two is when they did that last offering, right? The second whatchamacallit, the bond offering. So it might be a little less than that, but I'd guess around $100 million, somewhere around there minimum, for what the earnings are going to be. If the stores are completely neutral, which is what they were doing previously, was all quarters are like 1 cent, 0 cents profit on the stores. Now it's going to be 25 cents per quarter every quarter, and then the Christmas time is going to be the extra boost. So yeah, I'm sure they imported most of their stuff during quarter one. And that's when they spent a whole bunch of money to import as much stuff as they could. Their warehouses are full, trying to avoid tariffs. And then quarter two, they probably didn't spend as much money on importing things to fill warehouses. So it might even be a little bit higher than that because their expenses may be a little bit lower. But look for, I don't know, 20 cents a share, maybe more. What are the estimates here? GME earnings estimates. Okay. Well, they're finally raising their estimates here. So they've got, oh shoot, where are you? Chrome, there you are. Chrome. There we go. That's what we want. Okay, so the earnings estimates are showing, now they're up to like 16 cents, 12 cents, 19 cents. So they're finally listening to the fact they got this cash on X. Remember last quarter, their estimates were like something abysmal, like 5 cents, and it being like 23 or 30 cents or something like that. So they're finally raising the stuff at the moment, right? So I would look for around 20 cents. These high estimates are probably closer than anything else. And next year they're predicting a lot bigger, aren't they? So, yeah, the low estimate was 7 cents. Idiots. Okay, so there you go. Think about that. What you think about that? Okay, calculator, get my face. So I will probably Friday next week if implied volatility is still really low, I'm probably going to drop a whole bunch of money on call options. Because implied volatility will go up a little bit, but the last couple of quarters, it has not been going up the way it used to, where implied volatility shoot up to like 500+%, and like a weekly would cost, $200. Right now, the weeklies are like 30 cents, 25 cents. So I'll probably buy 20 to 50 call options going into earnings just to see what happens. If they whoop the earnings report and they show, big stuff, it might explode. And if it does kind of what it did last quarter, where they just crushed earnings, but they're like, well, store sales are down, and they like suppressed it that way, the implied volatility isn't going to drop so much, so I'm going to lose a bunch on the bet. So that's probably where I'm going with that. Okay. Zio Magadu with Nub. NWO making moves. I saw it. They're doing some investment stuff. Yeah. Michael Haight, 2nd. Chris Taylor, 3rd. Lyco Crypto, 4th. Lone Wolf, 4th. Damn. Chris Taylor. So happy grand jury not bringing indictment over DC subversive hero FU Bondi. DC subversive hero? Oh, that's the guy that threw the sub. Yeah. Sorry, my brain did not get the pun. Yeah, they brought no charges. So basically, you have free reign to throw sandwiches at federal agents. So get to it, folks. Get yourself the biggest, softest, squishiest sandwich and hit your local federal agent with it, because they might arrest you, but nothing else is going to happen to you. So, Killer Reed 7665. It's hysterical that a million dumbass Americans voted Trump in because they were upset with inflation, and then literally all his economic policy is solely dedicated to raising inflation. Yeah. Quite literally, coffee is twice as expensive as it was in October of last year. This nation runs on coffee. I mean, I'm sure 80% of you or more in this chat right now have more than 1 cup of coffee a day. And you're paying twice as much for it now. Is this all an attempt for boomers to convince kids to stop drinking coffee so they can afford houses? Because now coffee's so expensive, it actually is eating into their ability to save up for a down payment on a house. Because that kind of seems like where we are. Okay, Reed also says, Congresswoman Elisa McClain bought GME on bond offering day. When the politicians start to buy because insider trading, it's a good sign. Might have been early, but not wrong. I mean, not a terrible idea. Yeah, I mean, they're going to make money from this point forward. Whether the stock actually responds to it long term, we've not really seen that, because we are lower today than we were, 4 years ago at the same time. Even though there's $8 billion more cash on hand, because the market makes no sense. But here we are. Chris Taylor. So much disrespect brought to the national gardeners who have to spread mulch and manure on the mall. I think it's funny that Trump fires all the National Park Service folks who go around and pick up trash and make the mall beautiful, and then has to use the National Guard to go do trash pickup because they got nothing else to do, because they have them just in areas that are not the crime areas, standing around with their thumbs up their butts, getting yelled at by actual veterans and protesters and told shame, which is good. The way people are standing up to these guys is, I think, beautiful. I saw an ice raid at a video of an ice raid at a barber shop, and local police were there to support and didn't have a warrant. And the people in the barber shop were like, get the fuck out of here and come back with a warrant. And they left. They tried to assert themselves like, well, I got a warrant, and some administrative warrant that does not allow them access into private property or into your car or anything else. And just show me your bench warrant. Show me the judge's signature. And they can't. And they leave every single time because they're on tape. So get those phones out, man, and film them. Just constantly film them. Yesterday, Border Patrol showed up to the Lake Cushman fire, the Bear Fire, which is the biggest fire in Western Washington in years. I mean, it's at 8,000 plus acres. It's been burning for like a month because luckily we haven't had any wind to spread it. But it's only like 10% contained, and wildland firefighters are out there doing their best to try and like make lines and get this thing contained because this is all old growth forest. It's beautiful, like beautiful land. And Border Patrol showed up and arrested 2 men who didn't have their IDs with them, detained them, and it turns out they're Native Americans from the Colville tribe. Meaning they're from Washington. Their ancestors have been here for 15,000 years in these lands. And they arrested firefighting crews trying to stop a wildfire who are legal residents of the United States, citizens of the United States. This is bullshit. It's just straight up racism. Like, well, that person's brown. Obviously, they aren't from here. So let's throw their asses in jail. And it turns out their ancestors have been here for 15,000 years. So, Nazis, dude. Nazis ruin everything. Why did Nazis have to ruin everything? They ruined the Charlie Chaplin mustache. They ruined the swastika. They ruined the OK hand signal. They just ruin shit. They don't make anything better. They just ruin shit. Make everyone's lives worse in the process while like jerking off to whoever their dear leader is. It's so stupid. Right, monkey? Right, buddy? You know it's stupid. You're a dog with a little dime-sized brain. You know it's dumb. Yes, you do. Oh. Yeah, bud. She give me the... Oh, she's doing the look. She wants a treat. See that look? See that look right there? Right? See that look? Yeah. Want this? What you're waiting for? Okay. We're down to so few. Look, there's so few in here, buddy. How about that one? That work for you? There you go. Okay. All right. Corporal Walnut, what's your thought on T. Townsend Brown? Oh, this is the guy that did the gravity experiments. Oh, I don't really know anything about him personally. We had one of these devices. When I was at Lewis and Clark, they had one of his devices in the physics lecture room. Okay. It says ionic wind, the bifield Brown effect, electrogravitics. Yeah, I don't know anything about him other than he had a device that could like measure gravitational pull. So, military engineer during World War II. Helped create radar. He went to Lockheed. Consultant at the Pearl Harbor Navy Yard. Involved in the subject of unidentified objects, 1956. Helped found the National Investigators Committee on Aero Phenomena. Oh, so he's a UFO guy back in the 50s. And although he was forced out as director in 1957 with allegations that he was using funds to further anti-gravity research. Brown worked as research development consultant for Agnew Bonson's Whitehall Rand project, an anti-gravity venture at the Bonson Company of Winston-Salem, North Carolina. The same year, Brown set up an anti-gravity corporation, Rand International Limited. He filed several patents, but his ideas were met with little success. In the early 1960s, he worked as a physicist for Electrokinetics Incorporated of Bala Cynwyd, Pennsylvania, and he went on to semi-retirement living in California. Brown died on October 27, 1985. So are you asking me my opinion on him for his physics research or because he was part of UFO investigative teams? Because otherwise, I don't know anything about him otherwise. Apparently he's a big deal amongst UFOologists. And I I have to read up more on him. Corporal Nut, Wikipedia page, that's all I know about him. So there you go. I don't know. I'm not big on being up on who does what with UFO related things. Because until like a little green man comes down and like high fives me, I really don't care. like come start the global war now. Just let us unify that way. Until then, keep abducting cows and putting probes in people's butts. I just whatever, dude. I'll sit and wait. Nathan Tyler Scott, seeing all these giant posters of Trump all over DC is just fine. Doesn't remind me of Russia or China at all. F me, man. Yeah. So they're putting up giant banners of Trump's face off of government buildings because that's totally normal America. That's exactly what you do. Is you displayed your leader everywhere. I always thought it was weird when you walk into a government building and there'd be a picture of the president and the vice president on the wall, just like a little portrait. I always found that just a little weird. It's weird. I remember when I took my first tour of a nuclear submarine. You go on the nuclear submarine, there's a picture of the president and the vice president, like hanging on a bulkhead wall. It's weird. It's a weird thing. But now we get to have like 10-story pictures of Donald Trump in his mugshot, like this, doing the Kubrick stare at the entire country. And have you guys seen it? Seen what they're doing? So this is the shit they're doing right here. Right? They got Trump, American workers first, and then they got Teddy Roosevelt for some reason over here as well. Because you got to equate him with the greats, right? Because Trump really wants to be on Mount Rushmore, and Teddy is, and this is the bullshit that's happening now. Like this is the type of stuff you do in Nazi Germany. It's the type of stuff you do in, Pol Pot's Cambodia and Maoist China and Stalinist Russia. You put their images up, and you know if they're looking over you. And he's looking down at you at this point. See, he's like with his little Kubrick stare. It's stupid. It's really. And then the Secretary of Labor was all like gushing. She's like, "Your honorable president, we decided to put a mural up to you because you're such a great person. You're helping American jobs, and no one does it better." And just absolutely just blowing him right there on national television in front of everybody. It's disgusting. It's not the type of crap we do in this country. We aren't supposed to elevate our leadership to godlike status. They're not deities. They're just dudes who are doing a job. But no, we have to fillet the president right there on national television for everyone. Zerler, oi, my thumbs feel sore, I bet. Batman, Kelly Reed. Trump says he's no longer funding Ukraine war. I beg to differ. He's funding Russia more. Wild times. Waiting to hear when USA leaves NATO 2026 and years on. I see a depression brewing. Easily. The president of Portugal today said Trump is working with Russia. He's a Putin puppet and needs to be treated as such. And I agree, he is. Everything he's doing is to get Americans killed. They fired all the leadership at the CDC yesterday and are imposing Peter Thiel acolytes in at the CDC. There's a giant walkout at the CDC as they clapped for the folks that were being fired or resigned to protest. It's damn near impossible to get a COVID vaccine if you're under the age of 65. We have a whole bunch of children 5 and under who the CDC now says they can't get vaccinated unless you get like a specific note showing that they've got some sort of weird comorbidity. You want everyone to get a vaccination. Why? Because it lowers transmission and it reduces the ability of the virus to mutate. Viruses, they're not living organisms. They're little pieces of code, right? They're like a computer program. A computer program sitting in a disk on its own can't do anything. You put that into a computer and you activate it, it can do stuff. Same thing with a virus. And so these little RNA viruses, meaning they don't have like the double helix of DNA, they just have one side of it, which is C's and T's and G's and A's, lining on one side. They're very easy to mutate because they don't have the bonding of the second side of that DNA molecule. And so a C can break off and an A can go in its place pretty darn easily, and they can mutate very rapidly, comparatively. And if you get infected with a virus that you don't have an immune response to, you're going to be looking at trillions or more replications of that virus. What the virus does is it enters your body, it attaches itself somewhere in your cell, and then it programs that cell to stop doing whatever it's supposed to be doing and replicate more viruses. It says, hey, tonk, I've now this computer program attached to a computer, and you're going to do what I tell you to do. And it starts replicating more of those viruses rather than making the enzymes or the muscle tissue or whatever it needs to do instead, right? And it'll keep doing that until your immune system goes, wait a minute, that's not supposed to happen, and finally attacks those viruses. Well, if you don't have, the wanted poster hanging up in your immune system's post office, letting everyone know who the bad guy is, it takes a long time for folks to figure out. I mean, just think about like in real life, you got serial killers, right? The serial killers, they sometimes went decades and no one knew who was doing it, right? Until they got an idea and put a wanted poster up, and then the person gets caught, right? That's what your immune system's trying to do. And so when you get a vaccine, that's basically like putting the poster on the wall and saying, go for that guy. You have these little 5-year-old kids. They're starting kindergarten this year. It's the first of the COVID cohort to start school. These kids may have never had COVID. They've never been exposed to it, right? And now everyone else has been exposed to COVID or vaccinated, right? They've got immunities to a certain extent. These little kids have never been exposed to it. They're not allowed to get vaccinated anymore. So they're going into school, and they're the ones whose immune systems are going to be replicating this virus at way higher levels than you or I do. Meaning, this is going to become a virus that is catered to children. Because that's where it's going to replicate from now on. The rest of us, we've got our immunities. We've got, we can probably claim like, yeah, my ticker's bad. Give me a shot to our doctors. We can probably get that out of the way. The kids are going to have a lot harder time with that. And so this is going to become like a disease of the kids as a result. They're trying to kill us. They're just straight up trying. I mean, they got rid of all the food safety regulators. They just got rid of them today. There's like no one regulating food safety anymore. I remember my interview with Bill Marler. Bill's going to become a billionaire off of this crap. And he doesn't want to be. He wants to retire. He just wants people to be able to eat chicken and not get sick. And eat salad greens and not get sick. That's all he cares about at this point. He's made plenty of money off of these large corporations poisoning people. And now it's just going to like go nuts. They're trying to kill you. They want you out of work. They want you poor. They want you starving. They want your local hospitals closed. They want your insurance unaffordable. And I don't know what their goal is, but this is good. This is the end result. So whatever it is their goal is, the part of that plan is to have you poor, sick, or dead. That's it. So, just, yeah. So, and there's a Mandalola. Dozens walked out of CDC today. Oh, more than dozens, hundreds walked out of CDC today. No sixth, lol. He's still talking about, it's like Arlen's. I think it means Elon's hand wave. Yeah, it wasn't a hand wave. It was a Sigh Heil, buddy. That was a Roman salute. That was a straight up Nazi thing. Don't laugh about it. He did Nazi shit. His dad's racist. He's as racist. His grandparents are racist. That's who they are. That's what they do. Fred Jones, 1049. Oh, I don't know. He was a Nazi media he was a Nazi media was spouting about being transgender and crazy. RFK was saying it's depression drugs that make them go insane. Someone posted a good chart today showing that there's 5 other nations that have a higher use of antidepressants than the United States, and they don't have shootings. So no, I think it's pretty much it's Nazis having access to guns that result in a lot of these school shootings. Most of these dudes are straight up white supremacists. I mean, the Columbine kids, those guys were white supremacists. They were Hitler-loving whites. That's the reason why they chose the date, because it was Hitler's birthday, and that's why they did it. They weren't bullied in the sense that they're like, oh, poor kids were really... Kids didn't like them because they were Nazis. The dude who shot up the grocery store in Buffalo, Nazi. The dude who shot up the Walmart in El Paso, Nazi. The guy who shot up Parkland, Nazi. The dude who shot up the synagogue in Pittsburgh, Nazi. They're just Nazis. That's what they are. And then you get these like folks like, oh, Nazis were in World War II. There aren't any Nazis today. Shut the fuck up. Yeah, there are Nazis today. They might not be Germans living in 1942, but they sure agree with them. And they would sure love to see a Hitler-esque person back in power, if not finding his DNA and incubating it and making a new baby Hitler or something. But, yeah, they're Nazis. Where am I? They just reset there. Cilantro Garden. What kind of moves NWBO making? They did some sort of like 1.4 million pound investment, and they're pushing for EU, I think EU approval or UK approval for their drug treat glioblastoma. So that's, I don't know. I'm not in the play. I just kind of get sent stuff cursory and I kind of glance at it and go, oh, they're doing things. So yeah. Yep. Boris Raspy 6178. Hey Houston, thoughts on Edwin Barsek? He's been wrong about GME and AMC so much, especially about Trump and Teddy. He's mad suspicious. I think Edwin is insane. I mean, he's a QAnon dude, and you know, like you read his DD and you get through it, might be on Reddit or something, and it'd be like 10 pages long. You get through like 8 pages of it, you're like, oh, that makes sense, that makes sense, that makes sense, that makes sense. And then all of a sudden he's like, Tom Hanks is in prison and you're seeing a secret fake Tom Hanks, and Donald Trump is the one behind all of GameStop. Like, no, Donald Trump has nothing to do with GameStop. Nothing to do with it. Nothing at all. Nothing. He's not part of Teddy. He's not part of anything else. No. Just isn't. It isn't happening. But yeah, he's, a little Turkish. Hey, brother. Time to feed monkey butt while you hold fat cat tail. I don't know what the fat cat is. He might have the door open. He might be outside sunning himself on this lovely day. Monkey butt got her food. She's back on the floor, dead to the world. So there we go. This is Turkish. I'm remembering RV6008 is Turkish. And Rand's throwing some stickers up there. Turkish also sending nudes on BBBY. Hunter, who's the lawyer working for the estate, suing Ryan Cohen in the 16B case, demanded emails between Ryan Cohen and his proxy board members when the court had already ruled that Ryan Cohen did not have to show those emails. So Ryan filed a thing, but like, no. That's all the news I have. And Rance says hit the like button. Please do. Blah, man. Beyond changing name to BBY tomorrow, DK Butterfly court hearing still ongoing. Yep. Chillface. Hello, good sir. Just a quick reminder about the last few spots in Fantasy League. Oh, that's right. Thank you, Chillface. I have 3 spots left in the Fantasy League on Yahoo. Chillface, can you make a post on Reddit with a link to it and how people can join? Because we're going to be doing the draft tomorrow, and so if there's 3 of you who want to join, it's $25 to join the Fantasy League. We got spots for 3. And I don't know if we got to do a raffle or whatever if more than 3 of you want to join. But please join our fantasy league football league thing. It's fun. I never actually spent the time doing fantasy until last year, and I mean I got second place, so I feel pretty good about myself. But please join. It's fun. It makes you pay attention to the sport in a different way than you ever did before. I was more passive than before. Now I'm like stats. But yeah, join. Only BLSP Black Death. I might be late, but what happened to No Labs? No Labs became USBC, United States Bitcoin. I have not heard from Ron as to what's happening on the medical device side of things, but a guy named Gary Kidd spent $100 million on Bitcoin, gave it to the company, and now has a majority stake in the company. I have no idea what their intention is, if it's just a way to bolster the company until they finally get their device out there to market, or if it really is just transitioning into some sort of MicroStrategy type company, and now they're just doing that. So, yeah. I don't know, man. That's where we are. Nathan Scott, dude, I work in healthcare, and I've seen people fired just for posting a selfie in a patient who is microscope in the background, still fired. Exactly. You can't do that shit, man. You might be able to look at the records, but you can't post the records on the internet, which is what Bill was doing. Those are privacy violations. Zen Focus. Houston, you rock. You provide an awesome space for the logical, more sane apes, and you provide a comfy environment by just being you with your show. Keep rocking. Can't wait till we make it. Diamond Gorilla. Rocket. Is that just a circle? I can't tell what that one is. And 2 people putting their arms around each other. Cody Chandler 3643. Quarter 2 should have Switch 2 sales. That's true. There will be Switch 2 sales in that as well. So yeah, quarter 2 might be a good one. Might be well more than $100 million profit. So I think better than 20 cents personally. I'd go with like 25 to 30. Probably. 116 million divided by... Let me just pop the calculator one more time here. Clear 440,000. Whoops, that's one more 0. Divided by, let's say, 150 million. That'd be 29 cents. Yeah, I could believe it. 25 to 30 cents. That's where I'm leaning for quarter 2. 25 to 30 cents. So that would be earnings by about 10 cents on the mid-level, 10 to 15 cents. So, they'll probably complain, oh, retail volume's down. But if they're reporting Switch 2 sales, then retail earnings will probably be up quarter over quarter. And so, yeah, it might be a good options play to play for that week. Yeah. Okay. Blah, man. Also pretty crazy that the S&P 500 hit 6,500 a day. How's that even possible? I don't know, man. Nvidia revealed, that they have that their enterprise systems make all their money off of 2 companies. So that seems really weirdly dependent. And Nvidia itself is worth more than the entire Japanese stock market, which is the second largest stock market in the entire world. Like, this isn't sustainable, dude. It's the highest profits to earnings, price to earnings we've ever seen. This bubble is gigantic, and it's being fueled by 10 stocks. Everything else is like beneath that. So that's why they call it the S&P 490, because there's just 10 stocks doing all the work. And one of those stocks is Tesla, who's collapsing. You have everyone else, Google, Microsoft, Meta, Amazon, are spending hundreds of billions on AI, which is fueling Nvidia and AMD and all these chip companies having big giant bubbles. But the thing is that AI isn't profitable, and it may never be with the systems we have. So we're like feeding into this gold rush that won't produce anything. We're like, it's like digging a giant hole in the middle of Nebraska, hoping to find something valuable at the bottom of it, and you're just spending money on the hole. So I don't know when it's gonna pop, but shit, it's gonna pop and it's gonna be bad. A report came out today talking about how retailers and U.S. Corporations looking at just firing people, just culling huge numbers of their workforce. Just why spend money on things when tourism's down, retail sales are down, restaurant sales are down, everything else. I don't know how long it's gonna last. Turkish says my chin has gone from stroking. That's why I got these bald patches right there. That's from the stroking. Zenso says, preach, Pastor Houston. Treetop. Braves will have the largest increase in run differential in 2026. Place your bets. I mean, the Mariners did a pretty good job. They got a pretty good offense this year. In years past, it's been fairly anemic. And their pitching staff isn't as good as it was last year, but it's still pretty decent. I wish we had last year's pitching staff in this year's offense. That would be awesome. Anywho, the and dealt. Trump rump banner's gross as fuck. Yep. Fred Jones, Houston. You may not be the first to set an American flag on fire, but you can set a Trump 100-foot picture, see what happens. Definitely cop an arson charge for sure. Might be worth to make a name for yourself. Stupid bullshit. Oh shoot, I just lost my spot. I think Brandon Wells is doing his sub BBY sub thing, and I missed where it was. There it is. We talked BBY a little earlier. Turkish, this is for 101 Nas 101. If you're still out there, you better be near rock solid. Hazel Allen, unfortunately, viruses spread like crazy in schools. Yeah, because kids are gross. Right? They're picking their noses, they're wiping on stuff, they're sneezing with their faces uncovered, they're like getting into this business, they're switching classes all day long and touching the same desks, and they don't wash their hands after they go to the bathroom, they don't know how to wipe themselves. Kids are disgusting. And so yeah, they're little disease vectors, and they're going to spread to everybody. That's what they do. Remember being a kid? You remember being a kid in like first grade, kindergarten, and there's always that one kid who had that like permanent snot membrane going, like one entire looked like a snail inside of a shell, just absolutely just like a turtle head not quite popping out, it's just, kids are gross. They're boogery, snotty little crying tear snot covered grubby disgusting creatures. And yeah, they spread diseases, dude, like crazy. There's a reason why 47% of children didn't make it to age 5 back in the past, because they're gross, and bathing wasn't a thing, and vaccines weren't a thing, and germ theory wasn't a thing. And so kids just naturally being gross were like gross times 10. And that's why they got all the infectious diseases and died, because of how disgusting they are. And we have made them so much less disgusting than they were in the past. And yet, they're still gross. Where was that one? Oh, Turkish, like fried lice. A supreme omelet. No, honey, we have a convoluted Gaza at home. Yeah. Matt King, Japan rate 3.217, highest ever. Each day brings a new higher rate, which makes me wonder just how much longer these Japanese carry trades can hold on. I don't see how they can do it. Do you guys? I mean, if you borrowed $1 billion from Japan in, 2021, when the rates were like 0%, right? You brought it over the United States and you put it in the markets, you're making money off of it, right? And the yen is, it's like 100 yen to US dollar, etc. And then the value of the yen just shot through the roof. right? So that $1 billion you borrowed is now like $1.3 billion. And the interest rates have spiked. So now you're paying way more on that money than you were before. And the United States, the currency is becoming valueless. So as the S&P 500 rises at 8%, the value of the dollar drops by 8%, and now you're just basically either even or underwater on it all. You don't make any money off this stuff. Eventually, it's going to catch up to everyone. And I don't know when the reset's going to happen, or what's going to happen when Japan gets all this cash back all of a sudden from when everyone resets the carry trades. I don't know. Zen Focus Houston is funny and therapeutic. We love you. Thank you. Zen Focus Preach Houston, speaking logic about everything, even Edwin, not letting these silly gooses gaslight us. Supreme Omelet, January 6th was the start of last sneeze, bro. If anything, he's the puppet we always knew he was. We wild. Have a good show. We'll watch tomorrow. Good night. Well, thank you. Holy crap! Almost at the end here. Bombing burrito. So I forgot to go in the multi-stream, so I have no idea what's happening over on the Twitch side. I hate it when I do that. Okay, so if you're on Twitch side, make yourself known because I forgot to look over there. Bombing burrito reminds me of when Russian bots were on Superstock with schizo messages about how GME would moon only if Russia took the Donbass. Followed one out of sus. He stopped posting after their Pringles drive on Moscow. After Pringles, Prigozhin. Interesting. Yeah, it's really funny to see the waves of Russian bots, right? And troll farm accounts. So like when Russia got essentially cut off from the rest of the world on the internet, they just vanished for like 2 days before they started popping up, using VPNs and whatnot all over again. And like Twitter was quiet for those 2 days. But yeah, I'm in a current argument with the dumbest Russian trolls. It's kind of fun because they're like, we need a ceasefire, and things like the Minsk agreement, and you point out that the Minsk agreement was violated twice by Putin, and there's no reason anyone should sign an agreement with him. And like, well, at least we don't have old people join the army, and you show them like all the geezers that keep dying of meat waves. Like, well, these are just patriots who are proud to serve their country. It's like they just keep moving the goalposts. You show them a field of just dead soldiers, and they're like, those are Ukrainians. And you show that like the uniforms are straight up Russian uniforms. Like, well, it just happens to look that way, but they're Ukrainians. The bots are so dumb. The troll farm accounts are so dumb. I wish. Yeah, I never wanted to become one of those old guys who just like looked back at the good old days. But really, pre-Facebook internet was so much better than it is today. So much better. Like, I understand the nationalistic drive to have to create these troll farms and bot accounts and the AI push, and you can put AI slop out there and you can make a bunch of money. And I understand the economic and socioeconomic and nationalistic undertones to all of it. I just wish that no one had figured it out. You just can't put that genie back in the bottle. You guys ever read Ice 9? Kurt Vonnegut. It's about this guy or scientist who invents a new formula for ice, and it can freeze at basically room temperature. And he thinks it's an interesting thing, and then it gets out and it touches regular water and just spreads all over the world, because once the water learns how to freeze at room temperature, the entire world becomes this ice ball, and everyone dies. Because if you touch it, the water in your body now knows how to become that ice, and you just freeze. It's like the genie out of the bottle type thing. Ignorance was bliss prior to all these stupid troll farms and bot farms and AI and everything else. And just, I want a simpler time. When I could go to hamsterdamps.com and it was the funniest thing on the internet, watching hamster gif just go, and that was all it did. And that was the internet. And then I would send an email off to a friend and I'd be done with the day. But no. Just bots all day long. Every day. Talking about everything, getting everything with their stupid fucking opinions that don't matter because they want to word things, and they're just there to stir up controversy and just bog you down and wear you down and promote dumb bullshit and, pretend like the Cracker Barrel thing was this giant drama, and no one fucking cares. No one cares about Sydney Sweeney's American Eagle ad. They don't care. No one fucking cares. What they care about is a bunch of secret police running around the streets abducting American citizen firefighters who are fighting a wildfire. They care about shit like that. No one actually cares about the stupid Cracker Barrel logo. They don't care. They don't care. Imran Joji? Sorry if I asked before, but I missed the response. Your thoughts on ARC innovation. Should I hold it long term, or is there something better? Kathy Wood is a grifter. Kathy Wood, she named it ARC because it has Christian undertones. And then she goes to large evangelical churches, Baptist churches, huge Pentecostal churches. She goes to these huge churches with like 10,000 members, and she convinces them that it's their godly duty to invest into her fund. And then she blows their money away. Absolutely, just terrible trader. Absolutely terrible trader. Yeah. Cat's Cradle. Think Cat's Cradle. Ice 9. Cat's Cradle. Yeah. Yeah. She's awful. She will absolutely just. What will happen is, a company will be about to explode, and she'll just sell the shares, and then the company will go up like 100% at the moment. She's got a great track record of doing that. That's her thing. Mr. Lucina, apparently the door to hell in Turkmenistan is closing. How is that possible after so long? I mean, it's a well, right? So there was lightning strike or something that may have hit that place where there was a natural seep of methane. Caused a giant explosion, hole in the ground, and the methane's been leaking ever since on fire, and it's run out. There's a perpetual flame at a waterfall in the Cascades. Just a hole in the rock where natural methane came out. And for like 100 years, it had a giant, huge flame that burned, and it blows out now. And you can go up to it, and you can like put a lighter to it, and it'll go frump, and it'll burn for a second, and then a little breeze will come by, and it'll blow out. It's just running out. Well's dry. We need to get our payday so we can go check out the door to hell before it disappears. Have you guys ever seen it? Turkmenistan door to hell. So it is a giant crater blowout in the desert in Turkmenistan that has natural methane seeping out, and it's just been on fire in perpetuity since it happened. No one saw it happen, but it's just been burning and burning and burning and burning. And it's a big tourist attraction. You go and check it out. I'd love to see it someday. That'd be really neat. There's a video of it burning. It's cool. But yeah, it's gonna be done soon. Robert Hurt, anything on the Danish government paying MMTLP citizens off the link we sent you? I have not seen anything other than that murmured in the video he sent. In the video, I can't remember the guy. He's talking about MMTLP and MMAT. His name's not coming to me at all. But he mentions that there was rumors that the Danish government was paying $1,500 per share as some sort of settlement to MMTLP investors. But I couldn't find any news articles on it. Just that rumor. If you are Danish, and I know I have Danes who have watched the show, jump in, by all means. just maybe Brazil just amounts reciprocity measures against the U.S., which is so like we're so dumb. We had a trade surplus with Brazil. We put a bunch of tariffs against them for no reason. And now Brazil's putting tariffs on us, which means we're going to have a trade deficit with Brazil. And our coffee's going to get more expensive. It's so dumb. Mr. Lasuna, the president of Turkmenistan drifted around in a rally car or something. Wild country. Yeah, the entire country is just like pictures of Trump hanging off buildings. It's just monuments built to him. And he's, doing the dictator thing. Okay. Hey, we got some Twitch people. Hey, Joe Bro's incoming. Fantastic. Joe Live says, what's poppin'? Jenny Postie's posting pictures. Joe Live, that's some rockets. And Joe Live, yo, bro, the tariffs are killing me. I barely buy stuff. I don't need any more. Bingo. I mean, that's what's coming down to, is that people are going to stop purchasing things because they've increased in price 50% or whatever, and discretionary income's gone, which means they're not going to travel, they're not going to go to movies, they're not going to buy video games, they're not going to do all the things that they would normally do, not going to go out to eat. It's going to just be this like constriction of the economy. So yeah. Jay Ear Ninu, do you think Gavin Newsom has a chance against JD Vance in the next election? Yes. JD Vance has zero riz. And he does not know how to handle himself when he's getting bullied. And Gavin Newsom has zero issue with bullying JD Vance to his face. So, yeah. Gavin Newsom is not my ideal candidate. He's not. I don't necessarily agree with most of his policies. I think he's probably a psychopath, or at least a sociopath. But we need somebody who's going to bring pain to the MAGA end of things. So all those MAGA officials, they need to experience such brutal pain that they never want to do what they did again. And so, yeah, I think Gavin Newsom can eat JD Vance for lunch. JD Vance is a lifelong poser who has no riz. There's no charisma. There's no zazz. There's no it. There's no there with him. At most, he has no ability to think off the cuff very well. He's got poor conversational skills. And, when you challenge him, the best he can do is get really loud and talk about how he needs to be respected. And that doesn't really make anybody respect him. So if Donald Trump dies and JD Vance becomes president, MAGAs go, because he doesn't have it. Whoever Trump has, he definitely has it for like 30% of the population. So, yeah. Jenny Jenny POC. Right now, a lot of European countries at least can't even get parcels. Some countries can't even get letters into the States. At the moment, our post office just return them to sender or discard them instead of even attempting to deliver due to the tariffs. Yeah. And that's why a whole bunch of our major trading partners have stopped sending packages worth $100 or more. Yeah. D369, JD has Peter Thiel, though, and he wants the world to burn. Yep. Jenny is fine. I want to thank the Twitch people who just showed up. Fantastic. Thank you. I have to get going because it's work time. So I'll see everybody. See you tomorrow for tomorrow's show. And we will see what happens after hours. If anything happens with Bed Bath & Beyond stuff. So we'll see you then. Okay. You guys have a great day. I'm going to click the doohickey and run. Boink. Oh, hit the button. Boy, not that button. This button.